Thank you so much. And maybe we can start with, I would really like to know, hi everyone, thank you for coming. I would love to know, maybe you could just put it in the chat, what interested you about this program? So are you in a position where you're reviewing what you have done in 2023, getting ready for 2024? Have you received any kind of health diagnosis that you're getting your head around and you want to take action on? Or are you wanting to age well? Just let me know in the chat if what interests you about this so that I can just maybe tailor it towards that a little bit. Cool. Focus on health for 24, overriding goal. Amazing. Yeah, feel free to just put in there anything that you want to share. And I'll see it as you type it in. So yeah, it starts with the mind. Yeah. Yeah, and like Emily said, it's the stories that we tell ourselves, right? That's our reality. Everything can be going on outside, but it's what we tell ourselves that actually really matters. Solidifying knowledge, placing more value on my health and business. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's get started. Health and fitness, I find overwhelming, and certainly I've shied away from a lot of the noise that's out there because I want to do everything and I can't do everything. So what I have found is if we really keep things simple and go back to basics, that's an incredibly powerful place to start. Now, in my experience, if you want to create lasting change to health and fitness, then we have to connect to our true nature and listen to our own body intelligence. All 8 billion of us on the planet were gifted with this intelligence, and this intelligence is what created us in the first place. So it's actually what literally made our organs, made our skin, our flesh, our bones. We still have that intelligence within us to heal. So this masterclass is going to show you how to connect with that intelligence. And this will support you in your health and fitness journey for 2024 and ongoing, because it will be your default. You no longer will have to rely on motivation, willpower, discipline, which are important, and we do work with that, but that won't get you there alone because that's limited. It's finite. We only have a finite amount of that. So we look at our body intelligence. I'm going to introduce you to 3 action tools, which is the body relationship assessment, the body journey, pattern recognition, and some archetypes. And we're going to wrap up with some habit awareness, Q&A, and I would love to do a little bit of disruption with anybody if they want to have a play at the end. Oh, next slide. Okay, this masterclass is part of my Born Free series. And the concept of this, that within Born Free, there's a 1 to 6 month program. Within Born Free, the concept is that we are born free of conditioning, trauma, belief, behavior, pessimism, phobias, addictions, etc. All these are layered onto us through our life experience. And throughout life, we learn to deal with this amazing human experience by often suppressing emotion and creating coping mechanisms. And these coping mechanisms that we design, often from early childhood, no longer serve us when we're adults, but they're still there. They're still containing us. They're still hindering our growth. So what Born Free does is it teaches us to peel back those layers of conditioning, reconnect with our true self, which is the superpower. An important insight that I would love to bring your attention to is if we don't know how to communicate with our body, because our body doesn't speak English or Canadian or Australian or Portuguese, then the body will use its own language. And one of the tools that it uses is disease, chronic health problems, addictions, depression, anxiety. These are warning signs that we're out of sync with our true nature. This does not mean we're broken. We're not broken. Our subconscious mind is the depository for all of our experiences, and those are experiences that are real and that happened, but they're also the experiences that we make up in our mind. So you imagine all the catastrophes that you've run through in your mind. That's planted in your subconscious. And our mind is a prediction machine, and it always goes back to what is familiar. So if you're running a catastrophe, like a plane crash, for example, your mind is going to set in protection mechanisms every time you fly, which is going to be a stress response. So what I look at is how you're doing your problems, and then we look to change that pattern. And one of our incredible teachers, he says, nobody comes to therapy to change the past, because we can't change the past. The past has happened. Bad things happen to good people. That is part of the human experience. But people come to therapy and to come and work with me to change the future, because that is changeable. We can't predict the future, but we can certainly create it. Now, let's look at our healthcare system, because our healthcare system is a completely broken system. We actually don't have a healthcare system. We have a sick care system. People go and seek help generally when they're already sick. There's not a massive amount of work that goes into healthcare generally. And doctors, when you go and see a doctor, they don't ask what's going on in your life, what happened to you. They don't ask, how are you doing your problem? They just give you a prescription. They just prescribe medicine. And we only need to look at the healthcare, sick care situation at the moment. The amount of young people committing suicide. We look at drug abuse, prescribed medication drug abuse. We look at the rates of depression, anxiety. They're mind-blowingly huge. So clearly, whatever we've been doing for the past 50 or 60 years is not working. Taking prescribed medicine is not the answer. And I'm not anti-medication. So I'll say that. I'm not anti-medication, but there are alternatives. When you take medication, you're suppressing your emotion. And our emotional system is there. Its role is to protect us, from injury, fear. And the immune system has the same role. So the emotional system and the immune system are linked, and they do the same job. So when you're suppressing your emotions, you're also suppressing and compromising your immune system. And if you want more information on this, there's a fascinating study. It's 60, 70 years old. It's been well documented, and it's called psychoneuroimmunology. You can Google that to find out more about how exactly suppressed emotions equal suppressed immunity. Now, the other problem we have is our beautiful bodies were designed to be nomadic heterotrophs. Nomadic meaning moving, walking, to heterotroph, find food. We don't produce our own food. We have to go and find food in the form of plants or animals. So we're designed to move our bodies we're designed to travel. I think there's an innate, I work a lot in the travel industry, but there's an innate feeling of freedom that comes with travel. So we're actually designed to move every day. We're designed to wander, to find safe shelter. And we're also designed to live in communities. So I won't go too much into that, but what I wanted to highlight is that our lifestyles, we know it, right? We know that our lifestyles, if we're sat in front of a computer all the time and we don't move very much, we're going to get sick. I have taken a leaf out of Alex. Those of you that know Alex, Alex always has an amazing co-host. So I've chosen Dr. Gabor Mate. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Dr. Gabor, but he's one of my teachers and he's a psychologist. And he's written 2 books, amazing books called When the Body Says No and The Myth of Normal. I'm just going to let him speak for a moment. You can hear what he's got to share.
In other words, if you understand all these historical, cultural, familial stresses impose certain behaviors on you, a certain self-view, certain patterns of emotional relating, now you can do something about it. Now it's no longer there's something wrong with me. It's just that this is how I had adapted to what happened to me. And therefore, I have the capacity now, as a conscious human being, to become aware of all this and to transform myself. And that's not easy. It's not so easy to transform yourself because, of course, these adaptations that I talked about were originally related to our very survival as young children. And so we think we have to be that way. We don't know any other way of being, except there's something telling us that this is not right. Something's telling us. And so we want to find out the truth of things. And from that perspective, when things go wrong, it's possible to see them as necessary and as teachers. So there's a teacher that I have who lives in California, and he writes, your conflicts, all the difficult things, the problematic situations in your life are not chance or haphazard. They're actually yours. They're specifically yours, designed specifically for you by a part of you that loves you more than anything else. The part of you that loves you more than anything else has created roadblocks to lead you to yourself. You're not going to go in the right direction unless there's something pricking you on the side telling you, look here, this way. That part of you loves you so much that it doesn't want you to lose the chance. It will go to extreme measures to wake you up. It will make you suffer greatly if you don't listen. What else can it do? That is its purpose. And from that point of view, we can look at individual problems like depression or ADHD or multiple sclerosis, anything else, as a problem to get rid of. Or we can look at them as warning signs that we're out of sync with our true nature, that we're misaligned somehow with actually who we are. And that something in us is trying to wake us up. And we can apply that same.
Okay. I think that's so powerful. Like the part of you that loves you more than anything else, and it will make you suffer greatly if you don't listen. That's really powerful. We have to get in touch with that part of us and ask us what we're supposed to be doing. So how do we do that? So a powerful distinction, we don't want to master the body. We want to master the relationship with our body. And we do that I want to suggest that we do that from a standpoint, from a perspective of mental health. We disrupt whatever is not serving us, what's undermining our health and fitness goal, and we reconnect. So we need, first of all, awareness. Then we need reflection, communication, and some action tools, which is what we're going to do now. Awareness. You are not your body. Your body, our bodies are a beautiful gift to us to let us experience this amazing world and have this incredible human adventure. It's the last thing that we can thank and say goodbye to before we die, because it serves us 24/7. So the very least we can do is serve it and improve our relationship with it. It's important to understand that we run patterns that are a result of our conditioning, of our experience, of our traumas. But these do not define us. These can be changed. I'd like to ask you to reflect on what your body relationship has looked like until now. And to do that, I'm going to ask you some questions. And this is the first of the tools that I want to introduce you to. I'm going to get you started on these tools, but Emily has uploaded them into the chat so that you can download it and set some time aside and do it for yourself, because they're powerful. So first of all, let's look at the body relationship. And there's 12 powerful questions. Firstly, do you create goals or set visions for your health and body? Do you know what food allergies or sensitivities you have? How do you make eating and exercising decisions? Do you feel appreciation more often than insecurity, or is it the other way around? Do you feel safe and at home in your body? In what circumstance do you not feel safe in your body? Can you openly talk about your health and your body? And if not, what is it that's difficult to talk about? Are you comfortable with your body? Do you feel comfortable to express sexuality? What are the things you say or do to your body that you would not say or do or allow other people to say or do? Do you accept your body in the way it is, or are you trying to change it so that you can be happy with it? How does this relationship make you feel about yourself? And what is the purpose of this relationship at the moment? So like I said, it really takes some time. I would suggest take some time and work on that. Because that will give you, that will just help draw out, and it will start this reflection of what have you done until now. Now this is important. This is our communication. So maybe what I would really like to do is I would really love to take you on to experience this self-inquiry experience. So because I want to show you how you connect with your body intelligence, and this is your true self. Now, some of you may be very good with this already. Some of you never tried it at all. It's something that we do have to practice, and the more we practice, the more we get used to it. But I would love it if you could all join me for a moment. I'm going to talk you through some self-inquiry. So if you would all like to close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths. And just let everything go. You can drift off into no place in particular. And you might become aware of your shoulders. You can release your shoulders, stretch out your neck. And as you do this, you might start to feel the first signs of comfort and ease. And you'll have thoughts going through your mind. And you might recognize that these thoughts, they come and they go. And if the thoughts come and then they go, it means that they're not essential to our being. They're transient. And if you notice that the thoughts can come and go, maybe you can notice that there is something else that's aware of the thoughts. There's a something. There's a knowing. There's a witness. And if you can locate the witness, if you can locate the something, whereabouts in your body is that? Is it behind your eyes, in your throat, in the back of your head? And if you can connect with that something, does it have a beginning? Does it have an end? Where does the something end? Because the something, it can recognize your thoughts, but the something can also hear my voice. So it must also be outside of your body. But let's go back into your body for a moment. And if you have any problem with your body, any ache, any pain, any discomfort, any injury, can you take that something to that place in your body? Can you connect with the place in your body that needs attention? And can you ask that place what it needs? Now, taking a couple of deep breaths. You can maybe wiggle your fingers, bring some awareness back to the room, because we're going to come back to the room. That was like the briefest self-inquiry that I can take you on in this very, very short period of time. This is like such a powerful method of connecting with anything within your body that needs attention. But like I said, it needs practice. If you're not familiar with it already, at first it's a little bit weird. And sometimes when I do this with people, you know, they come out laughing, which is also fun, right? But it's so powerful what comes up when you start to connect, when you start to take that something to different parts of your body. Okay, I love that. Okay. Now, what is it? What comes up? The more you practice that, things will come up. And my question to you is, what is your body saying no to, but you do it anyway? I want to tell you a very quick story about one of my clients who had digestion problems. She had it for so many years. She went to the doctors, she went to the hospital, she had cameras up, cameras down. They couldn't find anything wrong with her, but this lady couldn't eat properly. I started working with her, and I guided her on the body intelligence, and she went within. And what came up for her was that she was not properly digesting her surroundings, her life. She was living someone else's dream. She was suppressing her own emotional needs for someone else, and she wasn't aware of it. It's not that she had a bad life. It was, for anyone that was looking at her, they would say she had a terrific life, but it wasn't her purpose. It wasn't her dream. And it wasn't until she started to engage with this body intelligence, discover it, discover her purpose, discover her needs, and then learn to express them. She overcame this problem. She healed. She is fit and healthy and loving life. But this is just an example of what can happen when you just start to go within and you start to ask your own body intelligence what it needs, not what it desires, because that's different. What it needs. Okay, next tool is plotting all the highs and low points of your relationship with your body so far. So this is a body assessment. And what we want to do is we want to look for patterns of failure and success. So this is what it looks like. This is my one, but it's really brief because we don't have very much time. But this is what your timeline would look like. And again, I just want to get you started on this. And this tool is in the chat for you. So you start like here. I was a very active child. So this is your high. This is your high point. These are your low points. So I was an active child. Okay, high point. Then dropped. I started getting interested in boys, parties. I started smoking, drinking, eating a lot, and vomiting. So that's how I coped. Then I went up again. I got myself a personal trainer. I started running. I stopped smoking. And then my career started taking off, and I traveled a lot, and I couldn't keep up my habits. I wasn't with my trainer and my tribe, and so I had a big low point again. And then I started researching the mind and body connection. I got injured, but even the injury then, when I started understanding the mind and body connection, the injury didn't take me into my low point. I recovered. Then I started trail running, got injured again, but again, the injury didn't take me down here. And then I started learning about handstands and strength training, and now I'm on an upward trajectory. So what pattern can I take out of that? The patterns that I've learned is I've got to be really interested in something for it to have lasting success. So you can see at the top, these are the things that I'm interested in. But as soon as I started getting interested in boys and parties and smoking and drinking, then my interest was down there. Then my interest was career. So for me, the pattern is I've really got to be interested in something. Otherwise, I don't do it. The other pattern that I've learned is I love to train and work with other people. I'm a connector. I love connecting with people. And so I factor that into my training. I have training buddies. I work with people, I run with people. So that's really important for me. And they're two things that just help keep my commitment to health and fitness above the line. So this is what I want to get you started on. Again, it's in the chat. So look for the patterns of failure and success. To help you recognize the patterns, I've given you 3 questions here. So what are the 1 to 3 moments in your life where you've tried to improve your health, but you failed? So identify the story. This is what usually happens. And then for that action to happen over and over again, or lack of action, what's the belief that has to exist for this action to continuously occur? Because the beliefs are super important. Beliefs by their own nature are not factual. It's not true. If it was true, it would be a fact. Belief is just something that you're telling yourself. So what's occurring? And then third, the alternative. Imagine someone whose health is in an optimal state. What do they believe to be in that state? And then you can just plot here the patterns, actions, behaviors, and the supporting beliefs. Because when you see it on paper, it's like, oh my God, I couldn't see this before. So that's the other tool that another tool I want to give you. So it's our own patterns and it's our own beliefs that keep us stuck in the status quo, and these can be changed. I want to show you some archetypes. So these are very common patterns and beliefs that we see. The chosen one, maybe, and you could be one of these, there's 8 of them. So the unchosen one, this person gives up very quickly or doesn't even try. The supporting belief is it won't work because I've tried it before and it's not for me. The punisher gets started, yet can't maintain the commitment and the journey. Usually gives up halfway through, and the supporting belief is fitness and healthy lifestyle is a punishment. The selfless caregiver gets started, but always falls off the bandwagon because there's something more important to be done. The supporting belief is putting myself first is selfish. I'm not worthy of the effort. My struggle is my gift. This person only acts when feeling bad. The supporting belief, if I feel better, I will lose all the help and support. If I'm weak, I need to do less work. If I transform, I won't fit in anymore. Number 5, the survivor. This person neglects health and body or destroys it because they've been let down. The supporting belief, my body can take it. My body deserves punishment. I don't need to feel great. My needs are not important. My body is not my business. This person outsources the care, doesn't take ownership of their health. He says, tell me what to do or what meds to take, and I'll take them. The supporting belief is feeling tired is normal. The doctor will fix it. Everyone does it. This is normal. Fulfill my wishes. This person burns out from over control, experiences the yo-yo effect. The supporting belief, when I change my body, I will feel happy and confident. My body is there to serve my needs. The controller. This person is obsessive with their health and it becomes unhealthy. They're very rigid and their supporting belief is, I need to optimize my body in every single moment and detail. My body is me. Okay. Goals. So I love a goal, and I know some people get put off with goals, but I think what I'd like to do is I like to reframe the goal. So a goal, make a goal a place that we come from, not a place that we go to. What do I mean by that? Take example, if we see a goalpost, let's use a metaphor. Let's say, for example, there's a goalpost and it's over there and that's where we want to get to. Instead of looking at it as being out there in the distance, walk to the goal, turn around and face the pitch from the goal. Make the goal the place that you come from. In order to do that, you've got to embody the goal. So you've got to say, let's say, for example, your goal is you want to be able to run 5K every other day. Let's say, for example, because that will mean that, you know, you can do this, that, and the other. If that's your goal, ask yourself, that person that runs 5K every other day, how do they live their life? What do they eat? What do they drink? What's their morning routine? What's their evening routine? How do they show up in the world? And create those habits today. Don't wait until you get there. Start doing whatever your goal is, embody that person and do what they would do today and every day. Live as though you've already reached your goal. Hopefully that makes sense, because it's really powerful. Habits. So sometimes we're stuck in habits that aren't helping our transformation or goals. And I think habits, I mean, we do talk a lot about habits in the Lifebook community. And so, you know, those of us that are from the Lifebook community know how important habits are and how they align with goals. And it really is super powerful. And there's also triggers for habits. And I love to work with triggers for habits, because when you find that you have a habit, you often find that there's a trigger for the habit. So scan through your day and just look at some of the daily habits that aren't helping you. Food choices, exercise, sleep schedule. I've put here, don't try and change anything yet. You know, these are part of the reflection exercises, but we want to try and understand it first, because once we understand the habits that are working and not working, then we can start to look at what we're going to do instead. If you have trouble finding the habits, a good place to start reflecting on is, how do you start the day? You know, do you start the day reaching for your hand phone and just not doing the connection? You know, I personally start my day every day with movement, just nice movement, nothing major, just moving my body and connection, internal connection. And how do you end the day? You know, are you on your phone? Do you have your blue lights until you go to sleep? Or do you have a wind down? You know, are you eating until you go to bed? Or do you have 2 hours of nil by mouth before you go to bed? And what's your sleep hygiene? What are your habits regarding meals right now? Do you eat consciously or do you eat unconsciously? Do you really appreciate the food? And do you think about, do you envision it nourishing your body, or do you just scoff down whatever you can grab while you're on the go? You know, all these things are super important. Summary. Okay, so there's a lot of information there, guys, and I hope it's not overwhelming. Like I said, I want to keep things simple. Always keep things simple. Come back to our internal locus of control. Go back to basics for lasting change. So we want to connect with our true nature and listen to our own body intelligence, because that's what created us in the first place. It's what made us. There are 4 steps to that: awareness, reflection, connection, and action. I've given you some tools to work on. I just introduced you to them to start with, but they were the body relationship assessment, the body journey, pattern recognition, and some archetypes. And then we looked at habit awareness and the fact that goals are a place that we come from, not a place that we're going to. Yeah, this is how you get in touch with me. Website and Instagram. And yeah, you can, if you want to chat more, you can message me in the Lifebook group. And I think that's kind of a wrap. Do we still have Emily here? Yeah, Emily.
Any questions or
questions? Did it make sense? I'm looking at that. I'm a controller and had several injuries because of that. Oh, yeah, I'm really familiar with injury. But injuries are part of being athletic, I think. Is something to deal with. Okay, now who have we got? Who have we got still here? Do we have any questions, anyone? Did it make sense? I feel really all alone. It's me been talking all the time.
You are not alone, Joe. Hi.
Hello, my love.
I have a question.
Yes, Melody.
Yes.
When I was talking to you earlier, and saying about training, that was only part of the reason I don't train. I have had problems being severely. I'm trapped here at the moment because I can't drive my truck. It's too big, so I'm trying to sell it. And I've been here for 3 years. But if I'm myself and I'm too big, if I sing or dance or bounce around or train, the owner bullies me because she had issues with her relationship. It's a bit better now. They seem to be back together, but I've been quite badly bullied, which at 60 is it's just ridiculous. It's difficult.
Oh.
So this is another reason why I haven't been training, because if I do and I get seen, then I get bullied in private. Yeah. So it's been quite difficult, and I am a therapist, so I do look after myself. I've had really bad health issues and things like that in the past: spinal surgery, multiple organ prolapse, systemic candida, and I've recovered from all of those. But I have a really strict protocol with everything, and it's been quite frustrating to feel well, it's like having a narcissistic relationship with somebody that I'm not having a relationship with. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so I have trained with NLP, and I try to NLP myself through it. I use lots of meditations with Paul McKenna and that too. But I just have this mental block of going outside the door, picking up my kettlebells. Now I can walk. I walk every day between 10,000 and 30,000 steps in the mountains. But I need to do toning work for my core because of my spinal surgery. And I just really find things are kind of settled now, and I don't want to rock the boat, but I really want to train. Is there any suggestions?
Well, there's a really interesting distinction that has come to my mind when you said that, which would be a good question to ask yourself, and I can ask you now. Yeah. But how do you distinguish between what you take personally and what personally affects you?
I take personally what is directed specifically at me. Possibly not so much now. It's a new beginning because I was living somewhere else through the summer house sitting while I did the life book and mastery, and now I've come back to it afresh, and I feel I'm a completely different person. I'm much stronger. I had lots of work to do in the character because I had low self-esteem because of the issues that I've had here. Lack of self-confidence. I've become quite agoraphobic, and that's gone. I've been traveling and stuff, but it's just this last mental block of going outside and picking up my resistance bands or my kettlebells or something. I'm working because I just don't want to be seen. I don't want it to all start again, but I can't keep living small, and I'm trying to be respectful to a point because I am stuck here.
The thing, have you frozen, Melanie? Has Melanie frozen for everyone?
Yeah.
Melanie, are you still there? I don't know if she can still hear me.
No,
I mean, this thing about taking things personally, it's the thing. And the truth is, we just can't control what other people say or do to us, but we can control how we respond to it. And that would be what I would want to talk to Melanie about, is how to distinguish between what really does affect her personally, which comments from other people don't, and what she allows to personally affect her. That's an
Melanie's
important connection.
Oh,
yeah.
Melanie just has to unmute. Yeah, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie. I don't know if you heard what I just said then.
Oh, you're on mute, Melanie.
You're on mute. Melanie, I was just saying that like, we can't control what other people say or do to us. We have no control about that. But what we can control is how we respond to it. And an important distinction here is what truly affects you personally, distinguishing between what truly affects you personally and what you take as personally affecting you. That's the distinction, because what you find once you've got that mechanism in place where you can say, you know what, your thoughts and what you say does not personally affect me if I don't choose it to. I can choose for that not to personally affect me, but you've got to have that mechanism in place to be able to distinguish between that. And the way that I do that is through hypnotherapy, subconscious, because by me talking to you consciously here, there'll be resistance. People try and onboard me with reasons and why, but then I would look at how are you doing it. What you're doing is you're taking someone else's opinion, what someone else has said, personally, but it's not personal.
I have to be I have had to be very mindful of it though, because of, she has the power to say move, leave, and I can't do that because I can't physically take the truck out onto the road because it's not legal. I can't drive it, it's too big, I don't have a license. That's a whole other story. But so I have been trapped here, and I have to take on board to a point the feelings, because if I rock the boat too much, then the situation would be worse. So it's been a very difficult one to manage, but the life book has helped with that. I was just interested because it doesn't kind of fit into any of the categories. So I've had to manage it in a completely different way than I would if I wasn't dependent on the security of being able to keep the vehicle here.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, for sure, that's, it's hard. What I would also say, there's a really interesting thought process about internal locus of control. Have you heard of that? Internal locus of control as opposed to external locus of control. Maybe what I'll do, I'll send you some information.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you some information. I completely understand what you're saying. I think that there are some really valuable mechanisms and distinctions that I could introduce you to that can help reframe.
Perfect.
Yeah, that will help reframe what you're experiencing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe if you send me an email, if you go to the website and just send me an email, I'll send it to you.
Cool. Okay. Thanks.
Emily, we are on the hour. What should we do?
Did you want to try any disruptive behavior exercise?
I'm not sure. I think because we've done the hour.
Okay. I mean, if anybody wants to stay on, otherwise, it's all right.
No, I think that. Who have we got left?
Oh, I'm sorry to take up all
No,
the
it's
time.
fine. No, it's good. Does anyone want to do some disruption? I mean, we're over the hour. If anyone wants to have a go at disruption, we can.
Can I say something, Joe? Hi.
Yes.
Hi. I'll just I really like the point that you made about the medication and suppressing emotions and compressing ourselves. And again, I'm not 100% against medication, but however, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just to say that, yeah, I think most of the common diseases that the world is going through, they can be more preventably and less expensively rather than the current system, you know.
100%.
I think that's a really great point. Prevention better than cure, and all the idea around that.
Yeah.
So thank you for pointing that out. That everything about the what it said, but that bit really got me thinking that just solidifying a bit more the idea of how do we approach our health, right? How do you approach your health? What being healthy means to you? What is that?
Exactly.
You know, and reflecting on that. So thank you. Really good.
Thank you. Thank you, Benny. Yeah, exactly. What does being healthy mean to you? What you know, why are you what does it look like? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And catching these problems before they start.
I think that's important too, just to add that our mindset, or how we approach our own health, is not it's not that long term what we're investing in our health now. We wait until we're sick. That's exactly kind of like what you were saying. We wait until we're sick, and then we act. But nobody really looks at it as to, you know, what, you know, the preventative, what will my future self thank me for?
Yeah.
You know, whether you wear the sunscreen today, you go for a walk, you know, you do your handstands, your kettlebells, you eat well, you floss, you sleep enough, but it's all an investment so that you have a quality of life, you know, later on, you know, whatever the next decades are, your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so that you're well. So I think if we can somehow get more people to shift that mindset to what are we investing in our health and our wellness now, so that we don't get sick.
Yeah.
It's important, but we don't. We never think about our future self in that way.
No. Mm-hmm. Because it's also, I hear people, you know, sort of just saying, oh yeah, I'm like it because I'm old now, you know, I'm getting older, so I can't, you know, I can't do this or I can't do that. And it just doesn't have to be like that. You know, we can, you know, to be honest, I think I'm stronger and healthier now than I was, you know, in my 20s. So yeah, it doesn't have to be. And this is where Dr. Gabor's book is incredible, like the myth of normal. We've normalized sickness and aging.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be like that, you know?
Yeah. I find the expectation everywhere is that people, once they hit their 40s or 50s, it's just a given that you go on some sort of medication, whether it's for your blood sugar, your cholesterol, or whatever. But, you know, in my case, where I work with aging women in fitness, so I only focus on women, because the myth is that they come to us for their fitness and their wellness because they're so indoctrinated in a way to say, well, I need to get my six pack, I need to get skinny. I work really hard with a lot of these women, especially where I'm based in Asia, to move away from the mindset of I just need to be skinny to, you know, what do I want to be, or how do I envision myself as a 70 or an 80-year-old?
Yeah.
Because if you can get them to think about that they're not in a wheelchair, but they're still playing golf, they're still hiking, they're still traveling, they're putting their carry-on up in the, you know, the compartment on their own, that, you know, that they're, you know, they have a good quality of life, then you reverse that and go, what do I need to do now so I'm like that in 20 years? And it's very empowering for these women.
Yeah.
Because then they they're taking control of the health and the wellness and the quality of life that they want, not that somebody else wants, because it's not realistic for, you know, the majority of people, especially a 50-year-old woman, to go, I need a six-pack and I have to have protein shakes. It's not, but that's what the world tells you. So to be able to empower them with that, you know, reframe what, you know, what your future is like, and only you can kind of take control of that. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And they love it. And then they love the training. They love the wellness. They love,
it's like, wow, I can choose. I can be different.
I'm in control. But it's hard, especially being in Asia. You know, a lot of women just think, you know, beauty is being skinny and young.
It brings me to a quote that I listened once, which is, we're not getting older, we just like the trees, we're just growing. And I really like it.
That's really nice.
We are. We're like a good bottle of wine.
Well, we're in a lucky era where there are people out there that have done it. It's evidence based now, because there are incredible people out there in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, hundreds. That you know, it can be done. It's like the 4-minute mile, isn't it? It's out there, you know. It's not an unreachable goal.
Yeah, absolutely. That we don't really know our limits, you know. We don't know our limits. And, you know, I truly believe that when we really can connect, you know, with our body intelligence, it's a superpower, you know. It really is. It opens up, it reframes, it gives us what we need. But we have to, for me, it's about that connection to that.
Moving past that doubt that we have in ourselves, you know, that can be so limiting, you know. We stop ourselves before we start.
Exactly. And it's noisy. The outside world is noisy. There's so much going on, but you know, when we know that place within, you know, the me, myself and I'm just always safe there. I'm always good. I'm always grounded. That's so powerful. You know, it's just such a comfort. Okay. So I think we're wrapped up, right? Should we wrap it?
I mean,
Although I'd love to.
If you want to do the exercise, or if anybody wants to stay on, it's totally up to you.
Yeah, we can. Does anyone want to do does anyone have, like, what is it now? I can't see, it's gone dark here. Does anyone have an association with something that you don't really want anymore? Does anyone like overeat chocolate or have we should stop the recording because it might get personal. If anyone has like an association with anything that they don't want, we can do a little bit of hypno-aikido. But if not, then, or if you want to do it one-on-one with me, message me. I'll do it. Message me. I'm really happy to do it. It's a very quick, like, it's a dissociation exercise to just dissociate you. I just mess with your brain a little bit and run some interference on something that you're unhealthily attached to. But we can, I tell you what, anyone that's on here that wants to do it, you can message me and we'll do it in private rather than in public.
Thank you, ladies. It's been great.
Good.
Thank you very, very much. No, really enjoyable. Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you, Melanie.
Well, we thank everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. And Joe, thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge, for guiding us all. So let's carry forward the lessons learned here. You all got the attachments in the chat. Make sure you grab that, and then you can do some work on your own later on. Any questions as well moving forward, do contact Joe. So here's to embracing a healthier mindset and achieving extraordinary lives. So until the next time, hopefully we'll see you again. Have a great Saturday.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay in touch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who have we got left?
Yeah, I'm just coming quickly because I'm just coming to say hi.